For what fellowship has light with darkness? What concord has Yahuwah with Balael? Come out from among them and be ye separate, saith Yahuwah, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you unto myself, and you will be my sons and my daughters, saith Yahuwah Almighty. 2 Corinthians 6:14 through 17.
Amen.
Some of you are on the precipice of tossing in the glory and having all your strength go out from you, because you're about to trade in the glory for a pottage, a bowl of pottage, or the promise of a woman, or the promise of a career, or the promise of a job, or the promise of a move. And it comes to you by way of human love and nagging and coercion. You're being infected by emotions. How many of us get infected? You want to keep peace. Some of you men, this is what some of you men are like before Yahuwah. You want to keep peace in the home? Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Sure, baby. Ain't you tell her anything. I'm talking to the men now. You're not men. You're not Kohanim. You may be male gender man.
Thank you for that.
But you're not a Kohen. You're a man, but you're not a Kohen. A Kohen says, look, lady, I promise you one thing. I will pray and try to have a relationship led by the Ruach. Your job is to follow. You're not responsible for the leading. I am. When I make mistakes, I will be chastised. You do not ask her opinion before you ask Yahuwah his opinion. And when her opinion contradicts the Father's, she takes the back seat. She goes to the back of the bus. You don't allow her to be like a Rosa Parks in your life. A spiritual Rosa Parks. That's why most men have trouble in the home. Some things are worth being in contention for. Some things are worth fighting for. And the way you fight for your marriage is standing firm for Yahuwah.
Amen. Amen.
A woman will always follow a man of leadership and vision. But if you provide no vision, if you provide no leadership, why should she follow?
Exactly.
No reason for her to follow.
Exactly.
And how do you provide leadership? By matching your life up with Genesis and Revelation and all the books in between.
Yes, hallelujah.
Some things are not open for discussion. What color clothes, what clothes we wear, that's open for discussion. What color the carpet is, what time the tile man is coming over, that's morning or afternoon. I say morning, you say afternoon, that's open for discussion. Some things are not. This is where we're going. They have a children's ministry, they have someone to change the child's diapers, or the children just sit in the seat and pee in their pants in your lap. Doesn't matter. This is where you will put us, and this is where we're going to fellowship. That's leadership. Are you with me?
Amen.
Amen. You're right.
So she was a Delilah because what? She divulged information, and he lost his glory because he wasn't there to gather information. He was there because he was in love. In other words, you should relate to people in the kingdom because they're strategically placed there by Yahuwah to complement you, not because you've made those choices. You follow me? Amen?
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Go ahead and get quiet. Let me see if I care. You think I'm closing? You're wrong.
Come on, let's work it. Let's work it. Go to work.
He got in trouble because he fell in love. He was no longer there to gather information. He was there to find a real, true love. Apart from the Ruach.
Exactly. Yeah.
I must say, you will find love if it's in the Ruach, if it's led by the Ruach, if it's ordained by the Ruach. Do not court, do not date. You tell a woman, I've prayed, the Heavenly Father has showed me that you are my wife. You please pray with me so we can deny that or confirm that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or find a man of Yahuwah who will put us together. We don't want to trust our leaders. No. We just rather trust society. And they'll give us 70% divorce rate. Can the rabbi do worse? Can a pastor who hears from Yahuwah do worse than 70%? You got a 70% failure rate, and you're not trusting, and the world doesn't trust any spiritual leadership. How was our blessed Yeshua taken care of in his life? By a shittach. Can I get a witness?
Amen.
Yosef and Miriam were shittach.
That's right.
They provided guardianship over the child Yeshua, so that all the children that were killed 2 years and under by the Edomite king Herod, that death would not come upon Yeshua. He was guarded by shittach.
Wow.
Amen.
If Joseph would have played the dating game,
He would have died just like everybody else.
maybe the child Yeshua would have been killed. Can I get a witness? Verse 21. So, by the first time he is led of the flesh, he breaks his Nazirite vow from birth, and he got into the flesh. And breaking covenant is an act of the flesh. I'll say it again.
Yes.
Breaking covenant, that's why Yahuwah hates divorce. It is any breaking of a covenant is an act of the flesh. Well, no, when you break a covenant, it is an act of the flesh without reason.
Amen.
You do not break covenants. Any covenants made in Yahuwah's name. Can I get a witness?
Amen.
You do not break covenants, because usually it's an act of the flesh. The only time you should break a marriage covenant is if you're being beaten, physically abused, or he is withholding or she is withholding conjugal duties. She is breaking her covenant. It is an act of the flesh. Now you have grounds for divorce. Other than that, other than unfaithfulness, there are no grounds for divorce. Verse 21. But the Plishtim took him and put out his eyes, and brought him down to Asa, and bound him with bronze shackles. And it became a grinder in prison. Remember, his own countrymen couldn't bind him?
Yep.
No one can stop you when you're in Yahuwah's will. Get out of Yahuwah's will, and even the puny Lilliputians will be able to tack you to the board. Are you with me?
Amen.
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 And he became a grinder in the prison. Verse 22. However, the hair of his head began to grow again after he had been shaven. The glory returned. Then the rulers of, because obviously he had broken off his relationship with Delilah. Are you with me?
Yeah.
People think, oh, the hair grew back. Yeah, but guess what? He was already away from her what? Influence. The hair of his head began to grow again after he had been shaved. 23. Then rulers of the Plishtim gathered together to offer a sacrifice to Dagon, their fish Elohim, and to make Gilah. For they said, our Elohim has delivered Shimshon, our enemy, into our hands. Remember, brothers and sisters, Yahuwah is the Elohim of the second chance. Remember that his mercies are new every morning. Remember that his calling endures forever. In your life, if you've made a mistake, you don't need a new Elohim. You've got to get rid of Delilah and move on.
Amen.
Stop making mistake. Get rid of Delilah and move on. Get rid of him and move on. Can I get a witness?
Amen.
Yahuwah is the Yahuwah of second chances. Your strength will return. Your strength will return if you return to the will of Yahuwah.
Amen.
Your strength will return. 24. And when the people saw him, they praised Dagon. For they said, our Elohim has delivered us into the hands of our enemy and the destroyer of our country, Shimshon, who killed so many of us. 25. And it came to pass when their Levavot were glad, they said, call for Shimshon that he may entertain us. See, the world is entertained when a man of Yahuwah falls in love with something other than the calling.
A reality show.
Yeah.
I'm in love with my calling. Now I can go and love with a wife that he's put in my life.
Amen.
But if I'm not in love with the calling, I'm going to wind up in the flesh. Some kind of manipulation and coercion. I'm going to be infected rather than affecting the people around me. You need to affect the culture, not get infected with the culture. I'm preaching real good today.
Amen, yeah.
Let me amend that. Real good. Are you with me?
Amen.
We are called to affect and not to be infected by the culture. We respect our prophets. We respect our leaders. We respect the fivefold ministry. First Chronicles 20:20, one of my favorite verses. Trust in the Lord, yet